Welcome, traveler. Tonight we open a door into the old American West, a place of wide skies, restless herds, and men who lived their days in dust and silence. Together, we will walk slowly through the real life of the cowboy, not the polished stories told in books, but the quiet truth of hard ground for a bed, bitter coffee at dawn, the bond with a faithful horse, long miles, danger, hunger, and the discipline that carried them from one horizon to the next. This is not a story of gunfights and legends. It is a story of endurance, of small comforts, of a life lived under open skies. Each chapter will guide you deeper into that world, soft and steady, like the rhythm of hoofbeats fading into night. If you wish to join us on this trail again, remember to subscribe, so every new journey finds its way to you. And if you feel this story may help you drift gently into rest, add it to your favorites, and subscribe so it will be waiting when you need it most. Now, settle back. Breathe slow. Let the prairie open before you. The story begins where a cowboy finds his bed on the open ground. Out on the open range, sleep never comes with the softness of feathers or the shelter of walls. It comes raw, beneath a sky so large it seems determined to remind you how small you are. A cowboy's bed is the ground itself, and the earth is never gentle. Pebbles turn into cruel knots pressing into ribs. Roots grow into twisted pillows. Wind creeps under every fold of the blanket and curls cold fingers along your neck. The night belongs to coyotes that sing in broken harmony, to owls that drift like scraps of shadow, to silence so complete it thunders in the ears. The blanket that covers you smells of old dust, sweat, horsehair, and smoke, and its thin promise never quite holds. Yet still you lie down, because the miles insist, and tomorrow demands you be ready. Sleep is shallow here, broken by the rustle of grass, the shuffle of restless cattle, the shift of horses tied to the rope line. A crack in the fire wakes you. A distant howl turns you from one aching hip to the other. Dreams scatter easily, chased off by the cold, replaced by a stubborn half-awareness. And when at last dawn loosens the dark, you rise not refreshed but released. Joints crack like gunfire, muscles stiff as timber. Ankles ache, knees grind, back feels carved from stone. Each motion is slow, as if the body must be persuaded to continue the bargain it struck the night before. You fold the bedroll with reverence and resentment. Canvas holds memories of too many nights, too many rains, too many mornings where the ground refused to forgive. Fold, roll, strap, lift. Ritual becomes survival. The spot you slept on still carries the faint outline of your body, an imprint that vanishes as the sun climbs higher. It is the earth's quiet way of telling you that nothing lingers out here, not even the memory of comfort. And yet, there is beauty. To wake with dawn painting the plains in colors no man could invent. To feel the air shift from iron cold to gentle warmth. To watch steam rise from grass still kissed by dew. The plain stretches endless, yes, but it greets you honest. You belong to it, even as it bruises you. And though you rise sore and weary, though your body begs for softness that never comes, you stand, you breathe deep, and you walk toward the fire that waits to brew the first good thing. The bitter warmth that begins the day. Morning begins with smoke curling skyward, blue-gray ribbons against the pale canvas of dawn. The fire, coaxed back to life from sleepy embers, waits to receive the pot. Into the water go coarse grounds, bitter as the land, stubborn as the work. They hiss and swirl, sinking, rising, darkening the liquid until it becomes the color of midnight itself. Cowboys gather slowly, pulled from their bedrolls by scent rather than command. No words, no laughter yet, just heavy boots dragging through dust, the weight of fatigue hanging on shoulders bent from yesterday's miles. The pot groans as it boils. Steam bursts upward in quick breaths. Someone ladles the first pour, black liquid sloshing into a dented tin cup. The cup is thin, edges sharp, but the warmth it carries could save a soul. Fingers close around metal so hot it almost burns, yet the burn is welcome, proof that life is returning. The first sip scalds, singeing lips, searing tongue. The second sip burns less but bites harder, bitterness filling the mouth with iron resolve. By the third, warmth spreads down into the belly, slow and steady, uncoiling strength that sleep never managed to give. Coffee is more than drink. It is ritual, anchor, the line between night and day. Hunger waits its turn. Beans and bread and salt meat will come later, but the body asks first for this black fire. Men crouch close to the flames, shoulders hunched, cups held like sacred relics. Silence rules. One cough, a muttered curse when a drop scalds skin, the scrape of spoon against pot. Otherwise, nothing. The herd shifts in the distance, hooves shuffling, but the men hold their quiet communion. Each swallow steadies. Fingers thaw, thoughts sharpen, eyes lift from the dust to the horizon with new clarity. The last sip leaves a bitter ring at the bottom of the cup, grit catching on teeth, but it is swallowed all the same. The pot empties slowly, one man to the next, until only steam remains. Then, without need of orders, the men rise. Belts tighten, hats drop low, horses wait. The day is ready now. It will be long, hard, merciless, but it can be met. For though the belly is still hollow, the spirit is fed. Out here, coffee is no luxury. It is survival poured hot, survival swallowed, survival carried into the miles ahead. The silent bond between rider and horse. Before the herd stirs, before light breaks fully, a cowboy walks toward his horse. The rope line hums with quiet life, animals shifting, stamping, blowing frost into the morning air. One lifts his head, ears twitching, eyes clear with recognition. Man and horse greet without words. A rough palm meets warm muzzle, fingers tracing the lines of trust carved deep over miles of trail. This bond is not sudden. It has been forged in storms, in rivers that tried to drag both under, in hills that bent the wind cruelly. It is a partnership older than memory, one life carried on the back of another. The brush moves in circles, currycomb raising little clouds that drift golden in early light. The horse leans, sighing, eyelids heavy. Dust lifts away, leaving muscle gleaming, powerful, patient. The saddle lies nearby, heavy as stone, waiting. When swung up, it lands with weight and purpose. The cinch pulls tight, then tighter. Straps checked, bit fitted, hooves inspected. Every motion is a vow. I will care for you, you will carry me. The silence between them is thick but full, an ancient language of touch, habit, respect. Some say a cowboy is nothing without his horse. The sharper truth, a cowboy is less than himself without this horse. This heart that beats steady against his knee. This mind that chooses dry ground when darkness hides danger. This body that holds steady when thunder cracks or cattle bolt. Together they cross rivers clawing at their legs, climb slopes where the wind tries to throw them back. The cowboy trusts the horse not to fail. The horse trusts the cowboy not to ask the impossible. Swinging into the saddle is completion. Man and beast fuse, height and motion blending into a single will. The horizon no longer feels distant, it bends closer, reachable. The herd waits restless, but calm steadies the cowboy. For he is not alone. Beneath him is no tool, no mere transport, but partner, brother, companion. Without him, the west is too wide, the work too crushing. With him, the trail becomes road, the endless plain a story shared. At night, when camp falls quiet, the cowboy walks once more to his horse. He checks the rope, pats the neck, whispers a thanks no man will hear. The horse flicks an ear, exhales, settles. In that breath is the truth. Tomorrow will come, and they will face it together, step by steady step, until the horizon ends. From the first light until the last star, the west gives no mercy in hours. Day begins with light tearing open the sky, commanding men to rise. Horses saddled, ropes coiled, hats pulled low, cowboys ride out to meet the herd. Cattle move like a restless sea, horns clashing, hides rubbing, voices low and constant. Dust rises, a curtain against the sun, thick in throat and eyes. Patience becomes the first tool drawn. Morning drags, but hands stay busy. A stray calf drifts, and a whistle calls it back. A rope whistles through air, coils landing sure, practiced, unthinking. Sweat slides down before hunger stirs, leaving trails of salt across already dry skin. The hat shades little. The sun claims what it wants. By noon the heat is iron, shadows erased, air shimmering. Water runs short. A sip from a canteen, a dip of hat if a creek appears. Horses strain, cattle moan, men grit their teeth and press forward. The miles do not shorten themselves, they demand every step be earned. Hooves pound the earth, and the earth answers by swallowing sound. Evening paints itself in long strokes of red and purple. Shadows stretch, cattle ease, bellies full. Cowboys slow, circling softer, humming songs old as trail dust, low tunes to settle restless beasts. Hooves quiet, heads lower, and the herd exhales. For a moment, peace. Night does not mean rest. The herd must be watched, circle kept, voices soft to soothe. Stars glare cold, moon throws pale light. Coyotes test edges, wind shifts warnings, but the men stay steady. Hours drag until the boss nods camp. Then only does the body sag, muscles unwinding, spirit surrendering. Day has been conquered, not with glory, but with sweat and silence. And when sleep comes, it is not reward, it is truce, brief and fragile, before dawn demands again. Meals made of beans, bread, and endurance. Meals are not feasts. They are repairs. Beans simmer slow in black pots, softening, thickening, until the air smells of smoke and iron. Salt meat spits and hisses, fat dripping into fire, turning flames sharp. Bread, coarse and dry, breaks in rough hands. Coffee darkens again, ready to bite, to steady. This is food without art, but it is food with truth. Men gather around flames, plates dented, spoons bent, knives scarred. They sit on ground, boots stretched out, shoulders slumped. Silence fills the first minutes, chewing louder than words. One sprinkles pepper from a tiny tin, luxury disguised as dust. Another saws meat with knife, jaw working slow. Hunger is honest out here, and honesty has no patience for ceremony. The beans fill belly with weight, grounding a man, giving back what miles stole. Bread scratches throat but leaves a trail of strength. Coffee burns away the last of weakness. Meat, tough, asks for stubborn jaws and repays with stubborn energy. Every bite is work made visible, every swallow a contract renewed with the trail. There is respect in the scraping clean of plates, in the licking of spoons, in the way no crumb is wasted. Waste is sin, food is partner, fire is judge. Tomorrow demands again, and the pot will bubble again, the beans will whisper, the bread will break, the men will be fed. Not richly, but enough. Out here, enough is wealth. The meal ends as quietly as it began. Plates stacked, cups rinsed, fire coaxed lower. Men lean back, look at stars, let silence reclaim its throne. Satisfaction spreads heavy, softening hunger into peace. For tonight, at least, the body is patched, the spirit steadied, the work possible. Out here, Simple food carries a weight greater than gold. Storms, shadows, and the dangers that wait. The West wears beauty like a mask, but its teeth show quick. Storms roll fast, black walls of clouds spilling lightning across the horizon. Thunder breaks the sky open, cattle bawl, horses rear. Rain lashes, rivers swell, crossings turn to battles where hooves slip, men curse, ropes snap. Fire moves quicker than fear, sweeping grasslands in red hunger, swallowing miles before a man can breathe. Animals strike their bargains too. A rattlesnake waits in grass, silent until a careless step makes it speak. A steer panics, horn flashing, weight crushing man into dust. Wolves circle at edges of firelight, eyes gleaming, testing courage with every blink. Horses stumble, men fall, bones crack, silence swallows cries. But danger is not always loud. It lives in small neglects. A cinch not checked, a knot tied poorly, a hoof left split. Carelessness is a predator patient as death. Cowboys survive by habit, eyes sharp, hands steady, repeating checks until they become prayer. Every strap, every rope, every cloud studied. Because when trouble comes, it will not knock. It will burst. Each scar on hand, each bruise across ribs, each story told low is a ledger of survival. Danger is constant, but so is resilience. The cowboy rides forward not fearless, but aware, respecting shadow and storm alike. He carries scars like scripture, each line a lesson. And so he continues, steady, cautious, but unbroken. The endless miles and the weight of silence. Not every enemy has claws. Some arrive wearing silence. The trail stretches, flat, endless, horizon fixed and mocking. Hoofbeats drum steady, unchanging, sinking into bone until the rhythm is indistinguishable from heartbeat. Time frays. Hours slide into miles, miles into hours, until both lose meaning. The cowboy yawns, shifts in saddle, checks straps that do not need checking. He counts cattle, counts dust devils, counts breaths. He hums a tune, whistles it, loses it, begins again. Horse flicks an ear but says nothing. Sun moves but nothing else does. Boredom is weight. It steals attention, dulls reflexes. A cowboy learns defense. Tighten cinch again, check rope, scan sky. Speak to horse, if only to hear sound. Notice cloud shapes, hawk shadows, the stumble of calf. Small details become anchors against the tide of sameness. Yet boredom is teacher. It forces patience, teaches a man to live inside silence, to accept nothing as companion. In monotony, a cowboy learns himself, his fears, his humor, his strength. When action erupts, a steer bolts, a storm cracks, he wakes sharp, ready. Boredom has not dulled him, it has honed him, made edges keen. The miles are long, the silence heavy, but they build endurance, shape character, carve patience. Out here, boredom is not enemy but slow blessing. Tools that carry more than their weight. Knives, ropes, guns, the trinity of trail survival. None shine, none boast. They serve, and service is their only pride. The knife cuts meat, leather, rope. It trims, fixes, defends. The rope pulls calves, secures strays, steadies man against river. The gun, heavy at the hip, rarely speaks. But when it does, silence follows. Each tool has weight learned by memory. A cowboy knows balance without thought, grip without glance. He knows how knife feels wet with rain, rope stiff with dust, revolver warm from sun. Recklessness kills. Discipline saves. Tools are not toys. Stories make guns romance, but reality strips that myth. Guns are winter, cold, necessary, never loved. Most nights they lie quiet under blanket, as tired as their owner. Most days they rest silent, heavy, patient. Discipline is the real weapon. Every scar in knife handle, every burn on rope, every scratch on revolver frame is proof of work, not vanity. A cowboy carries no illusions. Tools are lifelines. They do not elevate him, they keep him breathing. Respect is given not to glamour, but to use. Order written beneath an endless sky. The West looks like freedom, but discipline is its spine. A herd will not move without order. A drive collapses without routine. Wake when called, ride where told, guard your watch, fix what breaks. The boss speaks plain and final. Argument wastes daylight. Discipline is seen in chores. Tack mended though not yours. Herd counted twice though once sufficed. Camp cleaned though no thanks offered. Work done because it must be, not because it is asked. Night watch is proof. Eyes heavy, body ruined, yet you ride circles, humming low to calm cattle. You do it because last night another did the same for you. This chain of silent labor holds men together tighter than rope. Out here, order is not cage. It is kindness with iron edges. It keeps men alive, herds steady, danger contained. The sky is endless, yes, but without discipline, endlessness devours. Cowboys know this truth and live by it. Freedom may be the banner, but discipline is the ground beneath. When romance fades and dust remains, stories back east shimmer with polish. Out here, dust rules. It cakes boots, cracks lips, stiffens clothes. Sweat carves paths through grime. Rain soaks, dries, soaks again. Hats flatten into pillows, saddles into chairs, canvas into homes. Romance promises glory, reality gives endurance. Hands split, lips bleed, backs ache. Sleep comes in fragments, stolen in dirt. A cowboy rides not for adventure but necessity. Cattle must move, bosses demand, hunger allows no refusal. The West asks nothing of dreams. It asks for labor. Yet beauty endures. Morning light gilds herd, turning hides to gold. Hooves drum steady, sound of unity. Horses breathe soft, companions truer than men. Laughter rises at fire, stories exaggerated until stars themselves lean to listen. These moments, small but sharp, balance the weight of hardship. Dust clings, but dust becomes proof. Proof of miles, proof of survival, proof of endurance. It settles on memory, turns labor into pride. Less romance, yes, but deeper truth. A cowboy carries scars, weary smiles, dawns met open-eyed. And in that, he carries the real West, hard, unpolished, eternal. And so the trail grows quiet. The herd has settled, the fire has dimmed, and the cowboy lies once more upon the open ground, waiting for another dawn. You have walked beside him through dust and danger, through hunger and silence, through the small rituals that carried him from sunrise to starlight. The West was never easy, but within its hardship lived truth. Truth of endurance, of discipline, of bonds stronger than miles. These are the stories we keep alive, so that each night may bring you rest and a glimpse of lives long past. If this journey has brought you calm, let it find you again. Subscribe, so that the next trail opens before you without searching. Add this story to your favorites, so it will wait for you whenever you need peace. Now, close your eyes, breathe deep, and let the echoes of hoofbeats fade into dreams. The prairie is endless, but tonight, it belongs to your sleep.